Capri, welcome to episode 109 of We the GamerCast. It's the official podcast of WeTheNerdy.com, and it comes to you on iTunes and Google Play and mother-loving YouTube every single Monday. Thank you for being here and listening and subscribing, hitting the thumbs up on the YouTube video, and all the rest that you do. If you watch the YouTube video, by the way, Lincoln is okay. He was a little frightened by the hay. He doesn't know it's coming. Sometimes I don't even know it's coming. Like, he's okay. He was a little frightened, but everything is fine. I just wanted to let you guys know that I am coming to the close of a full-time all daddy day. This was Chelsea does everything every single day today, from very early on until now. She's about 15 minutes away. Pizza is coming, and I'm in for a delicious night of pizza. And I managed to keep 3 dogs and a baby alive. I'm very happy. I'm elated by that, because not only did we just like hang around the house, we didn't just do the bare minimum, folks. We went for a walk. I had the dogs like tied to my waist, and I had the stroller. Super dad moment, so that was great. Then we put the dogs away, and then Lincoln and I went to the pool. We hung out at the swimming pool for a little bit, and we did some back floats and some front float. He did. I didn't. I helped him, because that would be weird if I was just laying there showing my baby son how good I am at backflips, which I'm not good at. By the way, guys, before I get too far into it, I want to give high fives and thank yous to our amazing collection, this class of classy men, of our executive producers over on patreon.com/makeusbetter, including our brand new platinum executive producer, Corey Hicks, our gold executive producer, Sheldon Benedict. Lincoln, this is very exciting stuff, man. You'd never know. Our executive producers, Nick Militia, Joel Brooks, James Johnson, Dr. Doom, 9 O's, Jesse Johnston, Glocko Schaefer, Joey Hehir. We'll get to him in a second. David Ray and Mike Drummy. Guys, thank you so much. We are looking at some new stretch goals over on patreon.com/makeusbetter. But we're going to get to that in a second, because if you're new, here's the deal. Every week I have sweet hangs with a stranger from the internet. And this week is no different. If you guys want to be part of the show, it's very easy. Just do what Joey did. Tweeted me at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery Capri, like the pants, just like Brendan Myers did. And right at the start, I got to apologize to Brendan for misspelling his name everywhere. So right now you're seeing I've done most of the work in terms of publishing the show. It's been done. I just got to record this and put it all together, but all the typing and stuff is done. And it's because last week I did all that typing and stuff with Lincoln in my lap. And I didn't do a check. Should have triple checked how to spell Brendan's name, and I'm very, very sorry. I've got it fixed everywhere except for the thumbnail. I replaced the picture and it's not fixing. So I'm very sorry, but it's Brendan Myers, not with 2 E's. So I'm very sorry. But Twitter, follow him, because I think some of you guys like that episode, and please reach out to him. King of the Pirates, with a 0 instead of an O. I also want to give a couple shout outs. This is going to be a bit of a If We Ran Nintendo type of start, everybody. A shout out to my good friend Callow. I say good friend, and then I doubt myself on if that's how you want us to pronounce it. Edwin. Thank you very much, man. He is at Cal0. Gifted me Shadow of War. Are you freaking kidding me, man? And again, it was just, I was having a rough day at work. Wait, did I talk about this last week? I feel like I just talked about this. This might have been on the Xbox Drive. Anyways, you can never thank somebody too much. Edwin, I really, really appreciate it, man, more than you know. I've jumped into it. I love what I'm seeing, man. I wanted to finish up one of the games we'll talk about in a second here, which is The Lost Legacy. But this is going to be my main line for the next little bit, and I've been looking for a game like this. This game is like, it's just pure gameplay. This is kind of like Destiny has been for me as well, where I just want to jump in and play. And it doesn't seem like there's really any barriers for me to play the game. It's not to say that it's not difficult, it doesn't have its challenges, but I just love the gameplay of this. It's so smooth. My expectations were in the basement for this game. So thank you so much. I knew I was going to get around to it eventually, but I'm glad I'm getting to it now. So thank you to Edwin for that. And also, if you guys check me out on Twitter at Sean Capri, remember, I have a new profile picture. Thank you to the art of Adam Leonhardt from Megadads. If you guys don't know, he is just an incredible artist. We talked about it when he was on my show a little bit, actually quite a bit. You should go check out that episode if you've missed it. And more importantly, you should check out Megadads Live, everything that they're doing at Megadads. Follow them on Twitter, because my goodness, I've said it from the very beginning, just like probably the most talented of all of us. We're all just kind of faking it, and Adam actually has talent in his body, so you should support that. And I've been a proud patron of Megadads for quite a while now, and I love what they're doing, and I'm so proud to have my profile picture drawn by such an amazing artist. I've now been in me form. I'm animated. Wait, did I work? Yeah, animated. Like a me in there. It's my me was animated by TJ. I've been also animated by Gary Gray. I've been drawn by Adam Leonhardt. Guys, this is freaking incredible. So thank you so much. It's very humbling. Also, it's all for If We Ran Nintendo. So if you're listening to this on Monday, check out If We Ran Nintendo tonight at 8:30 Eastern on youtube.com/Nintendo Guru. Some cool stuff happening over there. High five to new patrons, Timothy Ulf. And also, I decided I'm just going to do a random high five to, you don't have to be executive producer to get a shout out. So, high five to BreadFan35, Chris McCracken. And I wanted to give you a high five because I was playing Overwatch, thinking of you, man. Every time Junkrat hit me up with that damn ultimate. Goodness gracious. David Ray and I were playing that the other night, having a great time. And I was thinking about how amazing Chris is on Married to the Games, coming up with music based on characters from Overwatch. So thank you to Chris and all of our patrons on patreon.com/makeusbetter. Guys, new goals coming up. Let me just see what we've got here. Bobby and Toby and I talked this morning, just a quick bit, and we decided that at $300 a month, we're going to stretch this a little bit. Hopefully this is achievable, but at $300 a month, you know that recently we added returning guests to this show, We the GamerCast. So what we're going to do is at $300 a month, those shows will be live. Those interviews will be live, maybe interactive. Change it a little bit. I feel like by the time somebody comes back on the show, there's a bit of a relationship not only with me and the guest, but also with you, and maybe you've come to know their work or things that they've been up to, or just you've connected with them on Twitter. So maybe that might be more appropriate for us to have a bit of a live show. So that's cool. And at $350 a month, I know this is a bit of a stretch, guys, but we got to push this one because Toby said that he can make a game in RPG Maker. He's going to call it, this is a working title, Guru PG, kind of like Guru like RPG. That's right, Lincoln. I know. Holy crap. Guys, I am a zombie in this game. I have been killed and I come back as a zombie, and Toby and Bobby have to take care of me. They have to make sure that I get brains to eat, otherwise I will murder them. And it's so cool because we're going to have patrons, executive producers on patreon.com/makeusbetter be quest givers in this. I am so pumped by this. I'm just going to, we'll leave it at that. There's way more to it, but I'll let Toby describe. He does a better job of describing it anyways. But guys, this is so cool. Help us get there. It's a game that you will be able to play. And well, I said I was going to leave it at that. Toby's got more details for you. We'll talk about it maybe on If We Were at Nintendo. And also check out Nintendo PlayStation podcast for that. I'm racing, guys, because there's a whole bunch of stuff to get to before we talk to Joey Hehir, our executive producer. You've heard him at the top of the show. I wanted to let you know I had an amazing time playing Splatoon 2, except for the fact that, holy crap, Nintendo, why can't I play Splatfest with my friends? If I don't have 4 people, I should still be able to pair up with people. If 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I want to be able to play with my friends. Why is this so hard? That was so frustrating. I was having a great time playing Splatoon, knowing that my friends were also having a great time playing Splatoon. But the problem is I'm sitting there wondering, like, why am I doing this? The only reason that I'm doing this, aside from, it's a good game, but I also have other great games to get to, is to say that I played Splatoon 2 and I played the Splatfest this weekend. So that when Team Vampires eventually won, I could say that I had definitely I played a huge role in that, which I obviously did. I hope you guys had a great time playing Splatfest. I hope Nintendo fixes this. If I ran Nintendo, my goodness gracious, it would just be so much different. I don't know if you guys experienced the same thing. If you did, hit me up at Sean Capri. Leave a comment in the YouTube video, all that good stuff. What am I missing? I feel like there's got to be something. I told you about Uncharted. Maybe I'll talk about that next week because this has been going on for way too long. My guest this week, guys, did I mention that this is evening? This is not first thing in the morning, so I've got a full day activity just rolling here. Guys, Joey Hehir. If there's one thing that you're going to get out of this conversation, and I hope that you get as much fun out of it than I did, it's at the very end. I don't even remember how we get into this, but we start talking about Halo, and this is the Halo conversation I've been wanting to have for a long time. As somebody who started up an Xbox podcast, I've been wanting to talk a little nerdisms about Halo and the old school versus the new school. So stick around for that. You should check out Joey on the Twitter. He's at Joe Critic YT. There's no E in Joe. Joe Critic YT on Twitter. The YT is for YouTube because he also has a YouTube channel, which we'll get to in here. I've been wanting to talk about Halo forever, so here, why don't we just get to it? There's some music coming up with Halo, and here he is, Joey Hehir, patron producer, executive producer, Joey Hehir. Just gonna keep going, getting more red in the face, Joey.
So I was up till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Hang on a second. What is that all about? You give treats to drunk people?
Like get tea and coffee on the way home. So
why?
Christian thing to do.
Oh really? Oh nice, man. I don't know. Like it just sounds like maybe is this just a fun thing to do? Like how do you get started in something like that?
It's just part of the because I'm part of the I'm a Christian, and I'm part of a Christian society at my university.
Yeah.
And they do it every Friday and every Wednesday.
And so it's the purpose is just to kind of look out for your neighbor or something like that? Yeah. Well, how do you get such a late shift? Isn't there a more like daytime way to help your neighbor?
I don't know how it got started, but yeah, every Wednesday from 12 till 3, and then on Friday from 11 till 4. Mm-hmm. So I got in really late. Oh,
I was about to make fun of you for waking up so late, given that there's 8 hours in between us, and we're getting up at about the same time. But I suppose that's actually more helpful to society than what I was last night. I crashed big time last night, dude. Like I just kind of like hit the couch, and I'm staring at my Xbox going, Shadow of War. Yes, tonight I've got all night. I could be doing this. And I couldn't keep my eyes open. And like it was one of those sleeps that I was so exhausted that like I just kind of like as if like the same position I'm sitting in my chair, just out, like chin to chest, and just like I could feel my body how heavy it was. And that's how you know you're that tired, is when you can. And I actually got a good rest out of it. That's the other thing that you know when you're that tired, man. But anyways, enough about my sleep. Let's go back. I want to know like where have you come from? Like you've kind of like just at least for me, just kind of shown up, and you're an active member of the community, and I always love seeing your comments. And I'm gonna start with something that you had mentioned a little while ago. Perhaps this ties into maybe your YouTube channel a little bit, your Twitter handle, Joe Critic YT for YouTube. You mentioned a little while ago that you feel that you get labeled kind of like almost like a hater, or like you. If you come down on things more than the average person. Where does that come from? I want to talk about this in kind of the general scope, but we'll start with you personally. It seemed like this was coming from a place of repetitive, almost attacks or comments towards some of your comments.
See, I have a problem where I speak before I think, and it's the same with Twitter and Discord and stuff. I'll say something and then be like, oh, I don't actually mean that. So like this thing with Jules, for instance, I didn't realize that it was a game, 3 games in one. So I was like, and everybody was saying how this game should be like $20, $25, and I just was baffled by it. But now that I know that it's 3 games in one, it's an absolute perfect price.
Yeah, right.
So
do you think that's something that's like maybe just being part of the internet is hard to read? Like Twitter is basically headlines. If you really look at it, you have 140 characters. That's basically a headline. And the nature of journalism or reading news, I guess, is it's kind of like that upside down pyramid where the most important piece is at the top. And then as you go further down into the article, it gets less and less important, but there's still content there. There's still stuff that kind of like backs up that main headline. With Twitter, or with what a lot of the stuff that we consume, it's kind of just like that headline, and that's it. So basically, I'm trying to give you a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, and a lot of people the benefit of the doubt here, which is you kind of go off of what you're given, And it does take just that little extra step, maybe even just a click or like if something catches your eye to find out the full story. But yeah, man, like how do you feel like this sort of affects like the internet in general? Like is this helpful to have? Now we have access to all the information in the world, but at the same time, we don't know what to do with this mass overload. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think obviously some people are just trolls. You know, they're out there just to cause trouble. No comment. But I think for people like myself and other people like myself, sometimes you just get drawn into, you know, conversations, and you just get drawn into these discussions, and you sometimes come across as negative and trolly, even though that's not what your intent is.
And all you want to do is tell people, I hand out coffee and tea to drunk people in the morning. Like, I'm not a bad person. Like, I try to be a good person, and this is just not, why isn't this working? Dude, I connect with that so much. Very often it's like, that's not what I meant. That's not what, this has gone too far. Let's try to pump the brakes a little bit and let's back up. So is this kind of like the only time? It sounded like this has happened maybe a couple times before. Is it mainly internet stuff? Or is it in person too?
It's in person as well.
Oh, no.
I have kind of a motor mouth sometimes. I get myself in trouble. Quite a lot.
Oh, man. I almost want to, like, you shouldn't tell a podcaster that, because now you kind of want to go like, what's there? I kind of want to... Give me an example, though. I don't actually want to, like, trap you or anything, but give me an example.
Oh, wow. On the spot. I can't actually think of anything on the spot.
That's all right, man. I don't mean to. I shouldn't put you on the spot like that. What about this? What about YouTube, man? So you're getting the YouTube channel getting going. How could people find it? What's happening there? Because it's in your name that you're a critic. So let's talk about this a little bit, because it seems like you might be wanting to have your cake and eat it too. So let's work this out together.
So I have a personality where I see things very black and white. So it's very, you know, in my head, I see things, you know, very straightforward, and it comes across as very critical. And so it was actually Patrick from Nintendo who gave me the idea of creating a channel where, you know, I give my opinions on things, and it's not, I'm not doing it, I'm just doing it as kind of a hobby. So videos come when they come. You know,
right.
I'm not like you guys where
every Monday.
It's just when I feel there's an opportunity for me to say, you know, talk about something, I'll talk about something. Or if there's a video, I put up a Metroid, you know, unboxing. Yeah,
watch that. I want to jump into that one just for a quick second, because I want to point out a quick contradiction. I don't know if you noticed this. So as and maybe you jinxed yourself, because I took notes. As you can see behind me, many toys still in the packaging, and you made mention of, I don't know why people care about the packaging. I didn't take that as a personal slight. I didn't. I get it all the time. People like, this is weird. Why? This takes up more space. It's harder to store. There's many reasons to rip these things out, so I get it. But what happened later in the video was you've got what was a strategy guide or something like that, the Prima.
That annoyed me so much.
And you ripped the sticker. The sticker ripped the book off it. And both hurt me, because that kind of stuff drives me bananas, dude. Like if a price tag like doesn't come all the way off, and like there's goo, and you can never get it perfect. So I don't know. Do you feel like you jinxed yourself?
Yeah,
you jinxed yourself a little bit.
I went and bought another one because of that.
Did you? Oh man, I was wondering if you would, because I definitely would have. Like, you just looking at it and you're like, man, this was, what was it, 10 pounds?
Yeah, 10. I think it was £12 from my local store.
You're just like...
And luckily they had another one in stock.
So, do you know the trick? I don't know. You probably know this, and for the benefit of anybody else, if you see these stickers and you are worried about what is left over, if you have a hair dryer, blow dry it and put it on high heat. Give it a couple seconds. Sometimes it'll melt plastic. You have to be careful with like the Amiibo stuff. But if you just melt it just a little bit, it peels right off. Unless the person at the store is a real jerk face and they get like these industrial glue, and sometimes like the older style stickers just don't come off. But it's a trick. Maybe in the future it gets them off. And obviously I'm a person who cares about that sort of stupid thing. But I enjoyed the video, man. And so going back to kind of just getting into voicing your opinion, I got to tell you, it's funny because that's basically how I started as well. Was like I just wanted to start a blog, and that takes way too long. I don't know why anybody would start a blog anymore, man. YouTube is right there, just talk, and people understand that it's not always going to be polished. So I really like this, man. I don't know if you have like intentions of more or bigger things, but I think what you're going to find is maybe it'll be a little addicting too. I don't know if you're already getting that sense.
I am already working on my next video.
There it is.
Which is it's taking a long time because I'm just doing it as a hobby. I'm not even turning money as I say. Money as I say. Wow, big word.
I'm just gonna let you sit with that one.
Aspect.
Yep.
The ad revenue. I'm not even turning that on. My channel is literally just a hobby. So
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like even in the beginning, on We the Nerdy's YouTube channel isn't monetized either. So like, because what are we doing? 15, 20 views per like whatever. Even if it was monetized, it's not talking about much anyway. So you might as well let people kind of jump in and get to it. It's not a knock against anybody who does monetize. Have at it. But I just wanted to let you know that I connect with that, man. So is it all from your phone then? Like, and also what are we focusing on? Is it video games, all entertainment? Like what's the angle?
It's pretty much anything. My description basically says that it'll be heavily focused on gaming, but if there's something I want to talk about, I'll talk about it.
Nice, man. Okay, so like, what's the thing that sort of got you inspired to do that sort of thing? Is it because for me, like doing all of this stuff, it all comes from a lifetime. I was talking to my mom about this. It comes from a lifetime of just doing stupid crap with my neighbor, whether we were making up Mega Man bosses and like drawing things out of instruction booklets to once we got our hands on camcorders with like crappy digital tapes or not even digital tapes, but like actual tapes inside because I'm super old, to filming birthday parties of 60 drunk people in my backyard with 5 kegs. Like that's kind of that had you when you have decades of doing that kind of stuff, that just carries forward. Even if you have a full-time job and you become a dad, that sort of just happens. So I'm curious, is this sort of like the spark? Is this the start of this? Or like does the creativity and wanting to voice opinion and form arguments, does that come from somewhere else, maybe earlier in life for you?
I'm the type of person who absolutely loves discussion. I will sit in front of somebody and I will talk, even if I don't know anything about it. I'll just bluff my way through it.
Oh, nice!
And I'll just talk. I'll just talk about it. It could be anything, politics, gaming, anything. And I just love talking to people. And that's where linking back to the start, where sometimes it comes across negative, and because I like discussion so much, I do get a bit of contention, but
because it's actual conversation where you're not just like fluffing it. Well, I mean, if you're making up, that's one thing, but if you're exploring a full spectrum of a topic, then of course some of that is going to be negative, and people have, I think, an adverse reaction to negativity in that way. And
I think it's a problem at the moment that people like to focus on the positives. But as soon as somebody says something, negative,
rabble.
Yeah, it's all hate. But nothing's perfect. Nothing at all is perfect. Even in gaming world, Breath of the Wild, that game is not perfect.
Yeah, it must be trash then. If it's not perfect, then the only other option is garbage.
Exactly, and that's what people think.
So let me ask you this, man. I know that you're into the Nintendo community. Is that sort of like the focus? I like looking at you open that Metroid amiibo and looking at the strategy guide. I'm getting a clear sense of Nintendo nostalgia there. What's up, Jacob? Does it go kind of beyond that, or are we kind of like narrowed in on Nintendo right now? Which would be, it's a good time to be that.
I'm a big Nintendo fan. I skipped the Wii U. Well, I didn't skip the Wii U. I bought a Wii U very, 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 very late on.
Did you get it on sale, kind of thing?
Yeah,
used.
Exactly. I was waiting for a sale because I don't like the Wii U.
Fair.
I think the games on the Wii U are absolutely some of the best games ever made by Nintendo. But the console itself, utter trash for me. But I actually just bought myself an Xbox.
Ooh. What made you jump in there, man? What an interesting time to get over on Xbox.
It was because on the launch of FIFA 18, which I think I don't like FIFA, but They had a
Oh, we gotta
sale
talk
on where you
about
got
that.
an Xbox One S with
Hmm.
FIFA and Overwatch for £200.
Holy crap!
Yeah, so I bought that and sold FIFA, traded back FIFA to them, and bought Doom, Halo, and Dishonored.
Dude, okay, I really think that that's really smart. I spend way too much time doing that sort of thing of like almost scheming, looking at every
Hmm.
single deal and going like, okay, well, I don't need this small part of it. How can I turn that into 5 games instead?
Yeah.
Every time something goes on EA Access, every time something goes in the vault, I'm like, do I have that game? Okay, what are the recycled deals over at EB Games right now? What can I turn this into? So how are you liking the Xbox, man? Because I obviously like it. Shout out to the Xbox Drive on iTunes.
I think I don't think it's as good
Oh
as
snap!
the Xbox 360 was.
Right.
I have great memories and love for the Xbox 360,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the Xbox One. I think the games are good, but the actual console itself, the software, I
Mm-hmm.
think I think it's a big step back from what we
Mm-hmm.
used to have. That fluid look. It's very, very complicated, software, but the games are good. I'm playing through Doom at the
Controller.
moment.
Doom is this the first time you played Doom?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I've played it twice over. I played it on PlayStation, and then I bought it. And again, one of the scheming things that I did when I
Hmm.
upgraded to Xbox One S. I had a whole bunch of games that it was actually Doom was on sale on the Xbox that week, so I traded in along with my original, like my day one, my Kinect Xbox, and they gave me like $20 for it, where it was worth maybe 10, and a couple of other duplicate games that got my Xbox One S, and I like Doom. I think was in top 5 for me last year.
Hmm.
For sure. That game is and you know what actually gave me more appreciation for it was seeing them play the music at the video game awards. Like I knew
Hmm.
it was good and just kind of like getting into it and learning the backstory and learning who made the music and how it was kind of like combined in with the gaming development gave me a whole new level of appreciation. But on the point of the UI kind of thing, I'm part of the preview group, so I get kind of like a inside look at, as do many others. This is actually not terribly exclusive, but the new firmware update that's coming that's going to revamp the UI for everybody else, I think you're going to like it. If you like
Uh-huh.
the 360 one, it's very snappy and very customizable. It still has like some of the stuff where you go over to the right and there's store and there's community and things like that. It's a little cleaner though, but to me, like the menu bar is much, much better when you click the Xbox button. It's getting a little bit
Hmm.
better. So yeah, man, were you planning on getting Cuphead for Xbox as well? Because as a Nintendo fan, especially if you kind of go back, I feel like Cuphead has some roots in some very old school gaming.
Um, I don't see the point in Cuphead.
You know what? Neither did I. Neither did I. When I like, because obviously we've been hearing about it for many, many years, and I would look at
Yeah.
video and go like, okay, so you just fight bosses, and
I,
you know
I
what?
think I think it looks absolutely amazing, and I think they did, a really good job
Hmm.
with hand drawing it. But I think that style of gaming no. I just
I'm not gonna slam you on that too, because I was saying like just days before to my good friend Brock McLaughlin. He's like, so are you pumped about this? And I'm like, not really. Like I don't even know if I would have bought it day one. I was lucky enough to get a code and try it out for myself, and that's kind of why I want to make sure that I not even go overboard, but definitely let people know that I was in the camp very much like probably a lot of others, definitely like yourself. And once I got my hands on it, like it was instant, man. I started it up. The menu is great, and then you jump in, and there's just so much love and character just flowing out of this game. And as you're playing, you're like you almost don't even realize the gameplay immediately as much as you do the just like what the hell are these characters doing. He's snapping and there's lasers coming out of him. Well, that's weird. And then the bosses all transform in these strange different ways, and like before you know it, you're falling in love with the game before you even recognize how hard it is. Like to me, that actually came second, and I love the sort of like the bite-sized nature of the bosses. Anyways, I don't want to try and sell you on this, man. So are you a 2 console household, or was this rounding up the 3? Were you PlayStation console owner as
um,
well?
a couple of years ago at the launch of PlayStation 4,
Hmm.
I did buy myself a PlayStation 4,
Yeah, because you could
and
share them. share the games? Do you get convinced with all of the E3 back and forth?
I used it for about a year, and I had maybe 8 games for it. And then I went about a year and a half without buying a single game for it. There was no games that I wanted or desired, so I traded it in for my Switch.
Oh, nice. Was it pretty like straight across then? Because I don't know. Well, it would have been a few years old by that point, so you probably still have to shell out a little bit more.
I think I got 170 for it, so I only had to pay it. I think it was £110.
It's a good day, man.
Switch.
So then you can just load up on all the other stuff. Nintendo's. Let's talk about Switch launch. Did you buy it at launch?
Oh yeah, I was midnight.
Like you were pre-ordered and everything.
Second in line, I was.
Oh my. Okay. Day one, going to buy a console is a special thing. Like I love midnight launches for anything. It's funny because I've been to some that I care deeply about, and I've been to some midnight launches that I was actually just along for the ride. I think it was Halo 3, actually, just as I talk about how much I love Xbox. No, it was Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto 4. I went with a friend who was like super pumped about it, and I had played like the first 2 Grand Theft Autos. I didn't have a PlayStation, so I didn't play the third one. I kind of missed what everybody was freaking out about with the 3D and the open world stuff. So when 4 came out, I'm like, okay, I'll go along. We went to the store, which wasn't a video game only store. It was kind of like a Best Buy kind of thing. And I bought movies instead. He picked up Grand Theft Auto and I picked up a couple movies. But I just love it, man. Like you're there. It's almost like a little mini convention. It's almost like a little mini PAX where you're just like lined up with people who are totally obsessed about this stuff just as much as you are. So you're second in line. Are you thinking just picking up the console and Zelda? Like what were your plans on day one for the Switch?
All I got Thursday was Breath of the Wild, and I think Breath of the Wild was the reason I actually went to the midnight launch and first day. Otherwise, I think I would have waited for the Switch. But my number one game franchise is Legend of Zelda, and the amount of time we had to wait for a proper game, I was just like day one, had to go get it.
Where does that start? Where was your kind of on ramp with the Zelda series? How far back do you go?
My very, very first experience with Zelda was Oracle of Ages for the Game Boy.
I can never remember either.
Color.
Yep.
And that is my absolute favorite Zelda game just because of nostalgia. But so I would say that was what 2004? No, it
was that
that.
recent?
2019. 19. Ooh, my mind's going blank.
Dude, it's all right. I've been trying to like put a more concerted effort into remembering dates, just especially as I get older, trying to like put everything in context because it's so easy to lose track of like what happened to the last 10 years. The first time that I realized that was, I may have told the story already, but so I apologize if I'm repeating, but NHL 2014 came out and it's like, it's the 20th anniversary. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It's not 20. And then, oh no, that lines up. What happened to 2000 to 2010? Like, I feel like I just like lost that period of time. That was basically university though. So I guess that makes sense. Like who the hell even knows what happens at that point? I don't know. You just kind of just trying to get through, I guess. So midnight release. What do you think about Zelda, I guess, in the context of Nintendo Switch? Because obviously now here we are half a year later. It's obviously doing very, very well. Are we even having this conversation about Switch without Breath of the Wild? Like, does that even happen?
No.
Yeah.
If you own a Switch, you have to own Breath of the Wild. It is the game on the Switch, and I think it will be the game on the Switch for a long time. I think Mario Odyssey will sell more and be more popular, but the game will be Zelda.
You think it'll sell more? How come?
I think just because of past games. Mario has always been the top. Even beating Pokemon sometimes.
What? Hang on a second. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Yeah,
Mario beats Pokemon?
If you look at what is it? Is it Mario Galaxy 2 that beat out Sun and Moon, didn't it?
I actually don't know. That's a really somebody out there can let us know.
Don't quote me on that, guys.
Everything I say, don't quote me on it.
Yeah, don't quote me on it.
Dude, that should be part of like your YouTube thing. is like I'm just gonna spout out of the mouth and like
Yeah, don't quote me on
don't
that,
fact
but
check me at all. This is
I'm pretty sure because I'm pretty sure Patrick on Planet Nintendo was saying said the sales for Galaxy 2 were pretty high.
okay. I
Sure
appreciate you citing a source here at least. This is good.
I'm pretty sure that was higher than the sales for Pokemon Sun and Moon right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
I know I'm wrong.
that's the funnest part, man. That's why I do a show with Bobby. Like Bobby knows everything. I don't know anything. Like who the heck knows about any of that stuff? So okay, what are your plans for like kind of like the rest of the year? You got Mario Odyssey. Are you like because it's impossible to keep track of the games coming out on Nintendo Switch at this
I know,
point.
I have so many games. I've had to stop buying games. I'm playing Stardew Valley at the moment, and
nice.
It's the last game I'm buying till Mario Odyssey.
Well, it's nice that you give yourself a 2-week buffer, Joey.
I went for a stay. I think it was end of September. I bought like 5 games in like 2 weeks, and I've only played like 3-4 hours of each.
Isn't
and they
that crazy?
deserve so much more.
That's the thing, man. You look at some of these games; they are top notch, and it's like in any other world, in any other year, you buy them without question because of the quality and just like they deserve to be played. And then, yeah, man, like you said, like when do I physically have the time? I've got to like make sure that drunk people are caffeinated and taken care of when I'm, first thing in the morning, dude.
Yeah, well, like I've still got to play SteamWorld and Golf Story. They're on my list.
See, those are like. It's really unfortunate. It's not unfortunate to have a family. Obviously, that's like the greatest thing ever. But with that said, I haven't got a chance to get to any of those games. And like I said, any other year, any other time, those are like priorities. But I still have like the backlog. I honestly don't even want to think about it at this point. Like it's almost Johnny. My friend Johnny Casino has a spreadsheet and he's tabulating everything, which I think kind of gives you context, which in a way helps me deal with that sort of anxiety. But at the same time, to look at it all at once is almost worse than maybe the ignorance that I'm applying to it right now. Like I just don't even want to think about it. Do you have like a reprieve coming up at some point where you are going to be able to, like sometimes it's Christmas for some people or there's vacation or anything like that? So
luckily for me, on the weekend that Mario Odyssey comes out, the next week is like a development. It's like the university call it a student development week, but it basically just means a week off.
Student development is like drinking for a week, or.
And so that whole week, I've got free from Mario Odyssey.
Oh my gosh, that is what perfect timing, man! They must have looked at the entertainment calendar and went, October 27th is a pretty crazy day. We better give these kids a week off. So is that like?
Isn't there another big game coming out?
Oh man, as well? it's like I think Wolfenstein, is it? Or one of the other Bethesda games. There's, what?
Yeah, there's another big game coming out.
Assassin's Creed Origins, I'm fairly certain comes out that day as well. There's like Jigsaw the movie, so there's a whole bunch of stuff happening, at least on this side of the ocean. But yeah, man, it's absolutely insane. It's a day that I should be celebrating and looking forward to. Like it should be circled on my calendar, just like Video Games Day with like big dollar signs written all over it. Like that's probably, I wonder, of everybody who's into video games, everybody who's obsessed about it, just like us, who's buying all of those games day one? Like, is that even smart? Because you look at some of them going like Mario. To me, Mario is the only choice. And I'm not just saying that as a Nintendo. I wouldn't even call myself a Nintendo fanboy. But all the other games, I can 100% see going on sale within a few weeks. Certainly Black Friday. Do you guys do Black Friday? Have you adopted it like we have in Canada?
We have it, but it's not like you got your guys' like in America.
Well, I'm in Canada, so Canada we don't necessarily murder each other to go get the deals. I don't think. Now I should knock on wood because now we're gonna get a story out of Saskatchewan where somebody's doing that. But we don't have enough people in Saskatchewan for that to be a problem.
I think the company that does it the most is probably Amazon. They'll have like 7 days of deals, and then on Friday they'll have like an even bigger deal section. But it's not really. It's not. It's coming over. I'd say within the next few years it'll be as big.
Do you have any other big
yeah.
shopping days? Like for us, before it was Black Friday, it was Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas, which I think is amazing because if you didn't get what you wanted, you went to sleep and then you woke up the next day and it's your own personal Christmas. You just go buy whatever you want for like basically the same idea, like 75% off everything. And yeah, stores are nuts.
Oh, we have Boxing Day, but I've never done it. I've always just left it. I'm a Christmas, drink, sleep, have fun. leave the Boxing Day for everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Stay in the PJs for a week straight, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Dude, I love Christmas. Like I've been very fortunate. I worked at the same place since 2009, and I've taken every single Christmas off, like 2 weeks off. And because there's so many holidays in there, I actually don't have to use up a whole lot of vacation. And that's why I kind of asked if you had like a reprieve, because for me it is Christmas. It's 2 weeks of, maybe this will be different with Lincoln, but it's 2 weeks of sitting on the couch, grabbing all the games that I just got and trying to get through as many as possible before kind of like Game of the Year submissions are in. And that's me on We the Nerdy. I'm always trying to push the deadline a little bit because I know that I won't be able to play anything until basically like New Year's Eve. It's kind of like, that's kind of it. So speaking of holidays, we're coming up to Halloween, man. Do you participate in Halloween in like kind of like a trick-or-treating kind of way? Do you dress up? Do you play scary games to get into the mood? Because I haven't until just recently, and the game that made me do it is The Evil Within, and that came out just this last week, and I kind of want to. I haven't even finished the first one. I might go back for that for a Halloween stream or something like that. But do you get into it at all? Or is it just kind of a thing that happens? Everybody else can have fun with it.
It's one of them things that is around in England, but we don't really.
Oh, that's
right. It's more for kids and adults. Like maybe there'll be some like Halloween parties or which you're invited to, but in England it's pretty much for the kids. So for me, I would probably just stay in and play some games. I'm not big into Halloween. I used to be when you used to be able to go out and get some free sweets, but free sweets.
I should have prepared like a bunch of words that we can compare back and forth. But now that I've only thought of it now, I'll save that for the next time that I chat with Toby or something like that. Okay, man. Why don't we talk about kind of like you were mentioning how? Actually, I want to take it this way. What made you want to be on the show? I never actually asked this question of people, but you reached out a little while ago, and I kind of wanted to get a sense of what made you want to be on We the GamerCast. Did you have any questions for me, or did you have anything in mind that you wanted to talk about?
No, I just
That's gracious, Joey.
Yeah, I just love love how like kind of how fun it is, and I just wanted to be part of it.
Nice, man. Well, you know what's happening this weekend is Splatfest. So, you guys, is this the weekend where is it the toilet paper one for you, and then the vampires and werewolves for us, or like what happened with the toilet paper? I thought we were getting toilet paper. I wanted the toilet paper.
I honestly don't have a clue. I didn't even know that there was werewolf versus vampire in America until this morning. Like,
yeah,
I'm kind of out the Splatoon 2 loop now.
Mm-hmm. Where would you end up on it if you had to choose werewolves and vampires?
Ooh.
I mean,
werewolves. I think so. Werewolves.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still considering. Man, werewolves suck. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but vampires can't go out in the sun.
You know what? That's a really good point. Here I am thinking about Blade, and he's kind of like the half-breed. He can do whatever he wants. That would kind of suck. Although, that's also perfect for playing video games.
And you're only a werewolf once a month.
Is that how just because of the full moon thing?
Yeah.
But it seems like you're not really in control. Like, it seems like at least a vampire, you're conscious the whole time. But a werewolf, you kind of like, you see the moon, you go, oh crap, I'll see you in the morning. And then you wake up in a field somewhere with your underwear and clothes tattered up, hopefully still covering up your naughty bits.
And vampires, the only food that can sustain you is blood. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't be able to eat any, pizzas or anything.
I mean, you could eat them, but you couldn't. You're right. It wouldn't satisfy.
You dislike them. Yeah.
Huh. Man, this is actually... Those are two very good points, Joey. I don't know. Vampires can fly, though. Kind of want to fly at night. That'd be kind of sweet.
I have an airport 20 minutes down the road.
That's so funny. Joey, let me ask you a question. I don't know if this is something that you can... It's an easy thing to answer, but like, where do you think the majority of your nerd cred lies? Like for some people, it's they love building PCs. Some people, they like to like dig into comic books. I'm trying to get a sense of like where does the heart of your nerdism lie, do you feel?
So I am a huge, as you know, I'm really into Zelda, and I'm a huge Zelda collector, and I have pretty much everything Zelda.
Here we go.
I have all the amiibos, I have all the statues, I have all the games, jigsaws, cups, mugs. I'm just looking now to see if all the limited edition stuff.
Do you have anybody to answer to for all of this stuff? Because like at a certain point, it sort of overtakes our lives, as we can see behind me. Like, is it just you? Do you have anybody to go like, maybe we can spend some more money on this stuff, or maybe we have space for all of these other things?
Nope, it's just me. So
nice, man. Yeah, man, enjoy it.
University, not living by myself. I'm living with some other university students, but it's my own space.
Are they into games too? Like university for me, I never found anybody who was into games. I always hear these stories of people playing games like in their dorms and everything, but like for me, that it was nowhere to be found. It was very disappointing.
The people I live with, one of them has an Xbox, which is in the main room, and they love playing FIFA. But I'm also a part of the video game society in my university. We get together every Wednesday to play games.
That sounds amazing. The Video Game Society?
Yeah.
Okay, what is the mission statement for this thing? Because I need to be part of a video game society.
I don't know. It's just get together, have fun.
That's it?
We just literally we have this huge room that we have on campus. We just play, and we play Smash. We played Capcom versus Marvel, or Marvel versus Capcom the other day. Jackbox.
Was that the new one? Did you play?
I think so. I'm not really into that.
If Smash is obviously Smash is going to be a little bit older too. So like, are you meeting people through this too? Because it sounds like this would just be. This is all I want. I actually wanted to. If I won the lottery, I think I would be like, I would do this full time. I would quit my job and I would do that. But if I won enough money, like if I'm talking like $500 million or something, I would want to see if there's a way to start up a business for like video game vacations where sometimes people go like on a cruise and they like to do, activities. They like to get off the ship and actually do stuff. My cruise ship on video games isn't getting off anywhere, man. We're sticking out to sea, and we're doing LAN parties, and we're doing all these other things. It's just bring your console and meet people and play video games. So this video game society sounds like an absolute dream, man. Is it all like multiplayer games, and are there multiple consoles? Like, paint me a picture.
So, on the big screen. So we have because we're in a lecture hall pretty much.
That's the best. Yep.
So on the big screen is the PlayStation 4 with the Capcom and stuff and Jackbox, and then people bring their own monitor and their Wii U, and we play random things. And people, we have a big Nintendo fan base here.
Oh yeah.
So everybody has like a 3DS that they bring, and we play. And they have like little groups where we just play together and stuff.
What's everybody playing on the 3DS? Dude, this sounds incredible. Like, this sounds like my dream, man. I almost want to just live a little vicariously through you right now. Is it all Pokemon stuff that people are bringing?
Usually 3DS is Pokemon, because it's a perfect chance for people, to battle one another. And so, but I can't actually think of any other 3DS games people are playing. I know there's one guy who brought this. He has like a Pokemon tin, the Pokemon card tins, and he just came with a big massive box full of 3DS games the other day.
Oh, dude! So it's just like pick and choose. Let's play any random game. That is the best, man. Oh, I love it. Well, dude, why don't we get right into the rest of the year? We kind of talked a little bit about October 27th. Is there anything beyond that, especially on Switch? There are games coming after Mario. Like, what are you looking forward to for the rest of 2017? And in that, do you feel like there's anything that even comes close to even competing with Zelda? You kind of talked a little bit about that earlier, but is there anything that comes to mind now that can knock off Zelda? Because to me, it's game of the year already. Just give me a award.
I don't think any game can knock Zelda right now, but the game, I'm not super excited for it. I'm going to get it day one and play it, but the next game I'm going to get would be Xenoblade.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you play the other games too? Because this is one of those series that I've been meaning to get to since it started.
Yeah, this will be my first game.
Oh, really?
But, because of this community, somebody persuaded me to try it, so I'm going to try it, and it looks amazing. But it's not oh my goodness, this is going to be a brilliant game. It's just I'm excited for it.
Do you feel like, because I don't even know if I'm going to have, it just looks like a huge amount of time. And
yeah,
I used to look at something like that and go, challenge accepted. Like everybody's talking about Persona 5 and going, it's 100 hours or whatever. I'm like, I could do that. I can find time. If the only thing is time, how hard could that be to like, if it's not a challenging game per se, then like, why can't I play this? And why can't I beat it? Yeah, I'm 10 hours into Persona. Like, and I don't even know. I tried to go back to it and I get very frustrated with Sony's cloud saving. It doesn't do it automatically for me. Maybe it does for others, but it just doesn't seem to work for me. So I have 2 PlayStations, one upstairs, one downstairs. And apparently the last time that I played it was upstairs and it didn't sync my saves. And talk about first world problems. I get it. Guy with 2 PlayStations is bitching about cloud saves, but it would just work on Xbox, I'm telling you. And with Switch, I just bring it with me. So that's the other thing, which it should be. So Xenoblade, I look at and go, dude, that looks like a 200-hour game. Yeah. And I have actually, I used to play way more Switch because I would play it on the bus, and now I drive to work, and like my Switch is getting a little neglected right now. I feel really bad about that. So I think I'm going to be waiting on reviews maybe just to see. But even still, Persona 5 was getting 9s and 10s, so it's almost like it's not even about that anymore. So I don't know, man.
My thing is it's not my genre. I'm not really a big fan of RPG and JRPGs. Like I tried what's that game that everybody really loves? Iron Tsutsuma.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried that yet.
Everybody says how good it is, and for me, I just thought it was really depressing.
Don't see it. Yeah. How far did you get into it? Without spoilers.
I got to the point there was like, so for people who know the game, like it's near the start of the game where you reach the second town and you're about to go into the cave to reach the other town.
Okay, so a few hours in.
And
then you just kind of drop it. I mean, there's so many other games too. This reminds me of a good question. Is there an example of a game? And I'll tell you one of mine just to give you a chance to think about it too. I don't want to put you too much on the spot. But a game that sort of like introduced you to a genre that you otherwise would have thought, I'm kind of good. Like I don't really like this type of game. And for me, it was actually I have 2 examples. One of them was Dragon Age Origins that I played probably about 5 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it was like I didn't feel like I was a good enough gamer to understand like all the complexities of this very deep fantasy role-playing game. And I just kind of gave it a shot a few years later. I just had always heard great things about it. And I was starting to do a little bit of writing about old games. And this kind of popped up. It was like $10. And before I knew it, I absolutely loved it. And it launched me into playing all the other Dragon Age games, trying out Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls games and all these other things. And it sort of like opened me up to a whole new genre of game that I otherwise wouldn't have been. So that's I think that's a really cool example. And the other one is actually Forza. So fairly recently jumping into Forza Motorsport 5, which is actually a number of iterations ago. I had always looked at racing sims and went, that's too intimidating. I don't know what the hell a gearbox even is. Like I don't know how to adjust my suspension and all these things, but it taught me that you don't need to, and you can still enjoy that kind of game. And that has opened me up to obviously a lot of other Forzas and dirt games and dirt rally. Most recently, actually, I'm wanting to see what Gran Turismo has to offer now, because I've always kind of shied away from that. So at the end of all this rambling, like, is there an example of a game that kind of introduced you to a genre that you otherwise kind of like shied away from?
I'm trying to think now. I don't really like exploring new genres, so I've not really explored any new ones for quite a while.
But you mentioned Pokemon. Like, how do you get into Pokemon?
I got into Pokemon. You know, I was one of the original crew. Game Boy, Pokemon Red. You know, I got it quite late on. I think I got it around 1998 because it came out, you know, when I was born, pretty much. But I
born into
got it a few years
Pokemon.
later. I know.
That's a really good way to put it. It's like, I don't try new things. I'm just born into the genre, basically.
But, you know, if I think back, probably, you know, Animal Crossing would probably be one.
Nice. Okay.
You know, that got me into Animal Crossing, which got me into Harvest Moon, which got me into Stardew Valley now. And, you know, before then, I would have probably just been, you know, Call of Duty. Oh, I don't like... that's a genre I don't like. I don't like FPS.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's very overrated.
But what about Doom?
I think there's only a few gems in the genre, like Halo. The original Halos, not this new Halo 5, which is rubbish.
Joey, okay, hang on a second. Stop everything. I haven't had one of you on the show, I don't think. And if I have, then we haven't talked about it. What the hell, man? Let's throw down. I love Halo 5. I'm one of the only people who does, and I know that I'm alone in this fight and in this corner. What's your problem, man?
It just feels like a generic first-person shooter. It feels like any other first-person shooter, whereas the originals, like up to Halo 3, possibly Halo 4, and all the games in between, you know, they were unique. They had their own little spark. And Halo 5 is just, you know, point and click. You know, you just...
I couldn't disagree more, man. I feel like every level is different. There's always a different style of fighting. And then the vehicles, of course. And there's the bosses. And if you ever play it with co-op, that game is absolutely spectacular. I've played that campaign 3 times over by myself and then twice over as co-op. And I still kind of, like, sprinkle in a little bit. I love is it Protheans? The guys with the orange, the orange spots, and I think that those are way better enemies than anything that ever showed up in the first 3 games. I feel like the level design, you actually know where you're going. See, this is where we're really thrown down. And I don't mean any disrespect to you, but I feel like Halo 5 gets a lot of crap. I think 343 gets a lot of crap, unfortunately, and I feel like those games definitely represent a step forward for it. Rather than a step backwards. And the other thing that I would say is, now after playing Destiny 2 and with Bungie kind of making, you know, a lot of integrated multiplayer MMO style of first-person shooter, and story takes a back step, I think that's what 343 needs to do with whatever Halo 6 is going to be. Make the story so incomprehensible that people just don't even care. You just go like, whatever, it doesn't make any sense. There's lore somewhere, and apparently that allows a pass, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I think that's great. Destiny 2 is probably my second number 2 game of the year, and maybe Halo 4 and Halo 5 stories are a little too, you can follow them too much. Let's just get back to the first 3, where it's like, if you wanted to know about it, it's there, but otherwise, there's this Master Chief guy, and he hates these aliens, and they've got these rings in the sky that are bad, so we just want to end that. So maybe that's what I would recommend for Halo 6.
The Halo series is actually in my top 5 games, and I have all the limited edition sets, and I have the Master Edition of Halo Reach, the one with all the statues.
Yeah, man.
I used to be an absolutely huge fan, but Halo 5...
Oh, that breaks my heart, and that is a pretty typical situation, because, I mean, maybe that's the difference between me and you. I liked Halo before, but I didn't love it. Like, I wasn't reading the books from the first 3 Halos. Like, I remember playing Halo 2, and I got to the end. I'm like, okay, that's done. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but I just never had that. Like, it wasn't all consuming for me. But I love these ones.
I had so much faith in Halo 5 that I got the limited edition set at launch. I didn't even have an Xbox until just now. So that shows how much I love Halo. But I'm just completely disappointed.
Where did you play it then? Considering you just got an Xbox.
I've literally only just started playing it, and I've just completed the story for the first time. And
yeah. Well, come on, man! You just play it and you're giving it crap. This is the problem, Joe.
That for me is a sign of a bad and a good game. If you've just finished playing it and you look back on it, it'll be like, wow, that like Doom was like, wow, that was an amazing game.
See, I had the same experience with Halo. I finished Halo 5 and I started it again immediately. I'm like, I want to do that again. It was like a roller coaster ride for me. I just
put it on the shelf.
Oh, it breaks my heart, man. That opening intro, and they've got all four guys kind of like running down the hill, and it's all like the action is so fluid, and I'm like, you can't do that in the game. And then it turns out you totally can do all that stuff in the game. It's incredible.
That annoyed me so much that they put Master Chief in a team. Like, Master Chief is a solo person, and they give him 3 guys.
See, these rules that you impose on Halo are too hard and fast, man. It will never change. It will never grow with all of those rules.
Chief cannot make friends. Like he's hardwired to be this like badass lone person that can't make friends.
But he cares for Cortana. He obviously has a heart, and that's the thing. Is like, oh my goodness, this guy who I thought was just stone cold in the middle. He actually is maybe a human being underneath all of it. He's actually breaking out of the mold of being created in a lab somewhere, and he cares for Cortana, he cares for his fellow man and for Earth and for all of these people. Dude, like, I just want to shake people who think like this.
I actually think the Cortana plotline, I actually think they're overusing Cortana.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Halo 4 left it really good where Cortana did her part, and I think they should have left it there, where she died. But
Spoilers.
Now bringing her back and sorry,
that's all right. Halo 4 is a real old,
and now bringing her back with this big secret.
Not really spoilers. She didn't die.
Yeah, no spoilers, but I just don't buy it. Like, they're overusing her. Come on, original ideas. That's what Halo's good for. Halo ODST original. But no.
I don't want to belabor the point, because if anybody doesn't like Halo, they're like, guys, move it along here. But if Halo 6 has, or whatever the next Halo is going to be, if we go back to the Flood, man, that's I'm tapping out. I hate the Flood, and that's why I like what 343 is doing. I like new.
I was really hoping for the Flood in Halo 5. I honestly thought they were going to bring him back.
For those only listening to the podcast, I'm like wheeling away from my microphone right now. Like, obviously we're looking for totally different things. The Flood are awful.
Just think Halo 2, when you first come across the Flood, how exhilarating that was, because it was a complete surprise.
I guess, but the enemy design is boring, and they look like they've come out of the dirt. And I think that is so, and that's why I like the shininess of it. I know, but it's boring, and it's just all these I don't like fighting, like, it's just zombies. That's not interesting to me. They don't have good weapons to pick up afterwards. This is dude, I haven't had a Halo conversation ever. This is so exciting for me. I hope that it's not like, I still like you very much, Joey. But I also love the fact that we are coming on polar opposite ends of the Halo spectrum, but this is great. I should do this more often. We should put a call out to people who we should just have like a round table Halo discussion, because Halo has fallen off of the what do I say? It's definitely not like top of mind anymore. It's not part of the zeitgeist. Certainly, like, you don't get up that high and without falling just crazy like it has. It was like the 10-year anniversary of Halo 3, and everybody's like, oh wow, yeah, we are all onto Destiny now. Man, this is awesome. You know what? I'm gonna call it right there. I don't think we can get any better than a sweet Halo discussion. This is where I ask everybody to share all of their social media and everything you want people to check out, man. You're on YouTube, you're on the Twitter, you're sharing thoughts on our Discord and everything, man. Where can people find you on the internet?
Just them places. So
I didn't want to put you on the spot, man. I try to give you a runway.
I actually don't know my YouTube URL. I'm guessing it's youtube.com/JoeCritic, but I'm not too sure.
I subscribed today, so I don't know that you have. We got to get you up to 100 subscribers. So, Joey the Critic, I believe, is how you'd find it. And now I'm ruining it. I've got on the video your YouTube. Actually, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. Why don't I?
It's bad when I don't even know.
I know. I'm trying to help you, and it's not working, but that's okay. So, Joey the Critic on YouTube. Your Twitter
will be up soon.
Sweet, man. And on Twitter.
That is Joe Critic YT. YouTube,
you got it.
Because somebody already stole Joe Critic.
I like Joe Critic YT. They're kind of like, oh, this dude's on YouTube. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and helping people, your fellow man, with tea and coffee. And I really hope you can maybe give Halo 5 another shot, or give maybe Halo 4. Just give it another chance. Maybe I've opened your eyes.
Halo 4 was awesome.
Okay. Well, at least we can share that sentiment. This was great, dude. Thank you so much.
Sweet.
That's it. That's the conversation. Lincoln, we're finished. We're all done here. That's Joey Hehir from England. Not from France, Bobby. He's from England. Jolly old England. Thank you so much for accommodating the time zones. Guys, it's like 7 hours difference. I don't know how anybody ever does the math on that. Good thing we have the internet. Remember, Joey's on the internet. He's on Twitter. Joe Critic YT. Please follow. And let him know that you enjoyed your time with him. You were here, you were with us, right? So that's great. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. That music, by the way, Halo 3 Immortalized from ocremix.org. You guys should just go check it out. Like, if you're just kind of working and you're at a podcast, by the way, that should never happen. Go to DaceSpace.com. There's plenty over there. But if you're looking for if you just want music, ocremix.org. That's, dude, it's so, I play stuff for Lincoln all the time. Like, we sit and listen to Donkey Kong Country stuff, and then we dance, and I look like an idiot. That's part of being a dad, and it's awesome. So thank you for listening and subscribing on iTunes and Google Play, and hitting subscribe here on youtube.com/WeTheNerdy, because when you do that, you'll know when I go live with more video game stuff. It's not necessarily always podcasting. I'm going to do some streaming and stuff. Lincoln is getting very tired here. Follow me on Twitter. It's at Sean Capri. Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. What is he doing? Like, he's basically just like laying down. You're just a mate. Your sleeve is soaking wet from sucking on your thumb. He's a thumb sucker. I am on a podcast other than this one. It's called the Xbox Drive. I do it while I drive to work because I ain't got more time for more shows, but I got to talk about video games with my good friend Dave Moore. You can find that on iTunes and Google Play, probably Stitcher, maybe, I don't know, wherever you get your podcasts. The Xbox Drive is there. Follow us at the Xbox Drive. It helps. I don't know if I mentioned this on this show. Guys, I will be doing a review for the Xbox One X. Have I not said that here? I will be doing a review. Microsoft is sending me a console. That is freaking awesome, man. I'm so pumped about that. I can't wait to let you guys know what I think. I have a setup down here with the two TVs, if you didn't know. So I'll be doing side-by-side Xbox One S versus the X. Feel like that's a real good setup for that sort of review, so you might want to hear more about that. So the reason I say that is because following on all these channels helps. It definitely, they notice the Patreon, they notice the follows, they notice all this stuff. So guys, thank you so much. I could not be doing any of this without you, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I also do it for on Nintendo, that's with Bobby, but you probably already knew that. What else? That's pretty much it. I'm a writer at WeTheNerdy.com, so check them out. Thank you to our artists, Gary Gray and Adam Leonard. Once again, Adam, an artist once again. I forgot to mention this at the start of the show, probably because I'm holding a baby and I'm racing. Adam Leonard, of course, doing the artwork at the start. The stuff that's all been put together by our video designer, Antonio Guillen. Our logo has art featuring Gary Gray, which I mentioned, and this whole show is powered by the DaceSpace network of indie podcasts. I think I nailed that, Dave. Warp Whistle Podcast is there. Check it out. Also, one of my favorite shows, I wake up to it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Forget Being Cool. It's on youtube.com/DaceSpace. It's also, you get it in podcast form and all the rest of that stuff. Otherwise, this is episode 109. I freaked out Lincoln one last time of We the GamerCast. It's now in your ears and it's in your eyeballs. Thank you again for listening. I'll be back next week. I hope you're there too. Now it's time for Jason, X for Jason, and sometimes Sean, and Jason, and Lincoln.
Jason! 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 Jason!
Sean! 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 Sean, where are you?
Jason! Jason! Jason!
Sean! 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 Sean!
Jason! 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 Jason!
And Lincoln. Stinky Linky, you're a stinky Linky. Stinky Linky, you're a stinky boy.